99.9% of the things we do now involve technology. But, hey, I like to hold on to the 1% where I get to go out for a walk and I can disconnect. I could put on do not disturb. Actually, when I'm flying, I'm not stressed because I'm not attached to the phone. It's like that 2 or 3 hour window where, hey, whatever happens, happens. And I don't have to be in the know,
And
So
you're
it's,
connected no matter what, whether your phone is working, connected, disconnected.
well, we're
Yeah,
energetically connected. You feel some sort of way about someone, you reach out to them. You feel some sort of way about yourself, you reach into you. It's fascinating, the desire to portray things. We call this authentic conversations. And I feel like people move further and further away from their authentic selves, their authentic lives as a result of pressures of technology. We're showing
well,
the
the
life we
parts.
want other people to believe we have. We're on it.
We're on.
We're on it this morning, this afternoon, this evening, today. We're on it today.
This moment right now.
Oh, that's all we have. Wait, let's remind ourselves all we have is this moment. Do not
Yeah,
disturb
everyone.
the technology. Hello. Bing. I was like, "Oop, something caught my attention." My mother once said it's become a real musical world, right? So for a while there, like everybody's cell phones were ringing. Now everything has moved from like obvious to on the DL. Oh, did my phone just vibrate? Oh, wait, someone's calling me. Oh, wait, I'm talking to somebody on my headphones and you don't even know it. And I look like I'm talking to myself as I'm wandering around the store or the school or wherever it is that I'm at. It's so interesting. Like, it was like a beacon and there were sounds everywhere. And now you have, now everyone is just kind of in their own little world.
It is. It's a lot of being in your own little world. So,
Yeah.
welcome to our world if this is your first time joining us. Welcome to Authentic Conversations. I am Amarelli.
And I'm Susan.
So,
And
those that
we're
are
here and it's
returning,
now. We're here and it's now. Thanks for coming back. If you've come back, if you didn't, come back again next time.
yeah, yeah. So, Susan, yeah, I sometimes I'm wearing AirPods for the first like time. And it's so crazy how it knows when you turn it off, when you take it off, it tells you to answer a call. I'm like, last night I was having that kind of thought as I was working on editing something. I was like, oh my God, like this thing is almost like alive.
Yeah, yeah. We're one step away from like having that microchip where we don't have to do anything. We just have to blink and things happen. And I'm not so sure how I feel about that, Amaryllis. I
Yeah.
mean, generationally, I mean, I was born in the 60s, like, the technology, um, bless you, the technology that has just exploded in the last 50 years has really changed the dynamic of human connection and human communication, and in some ways it's enhanced it. I mean, let's talk about the spectrum, right? Like there's good, there's gold in everything, and there's coal in everything. So, and
Hmm.
coal can be good and diamonds can create challenges. So it's like, where are we in making human connections and being connected and being our authentic selves, not the self we portray on social media, not the self we want others to believe that we are. I'm worried about that self.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's gotten into the point where, actors have had to strike about the AI. And of course, this technology has brought authentic conversations to life at the same time, right? So, where is this boundary and balance where we can keep our children still going outside, still riding their bikes and being youthful and not
Writing
being
on
right?
paper, reading actual books, like, yeah, I mean, is it okay that they're not? I mean, is that just like has that become the archaic sense of, drawing a picture by hand? Becoming an artist through what is now, pen and ink used to be ancient medium, and now drawing and painting is ancient medium. It's like, I don't know, am I getting old, and or have things just changed so rapidly that there's a grieving or a loss for some of the things we used to have?
Absolutely, Susan. I think that there's a both. There's the being in the moment and trying to embrace technology. We talk about it all the time, when we're trying to just say, I love technology. It is part of it. And how do we balance it? I think it becomes to a balance point. And that slowly it is going to change to where it will be for our children's world completely different, from what it was our world. And there's going to be a lot of things that will become that nobody will know how to do. It's almost like the recipes of meals at home, right? When you have your grandma's recipe and they get passed down, at some point they stop being passed down and they just become a memory. And it's changed. And there is that nostalgic point where we feel that change because we're in it right now. And we're like, wow, how much can I keep alive and pass down traditions in my
And
family?
how much needs to, and how much needs to. And I think that that's the question, like holding on to old doesn't necessarily allow space for new. So what is the dance? What is the balance? You know, how how much how much change is too much, too fast?
Mm. So how do we know?
I don't know. And I think, some of this is stirred up. I went to Africa this summer. I spent 2 weeks in Kenya, and, in schools with, young people, young women in particular. And, they don't have the technology at their fingertips that we have. There is technology, but it's not as widely accessible, right? Or 24/7, which is the case here. uh and their curiosity is about it, and my curiosity is about, hey, they're living full rich lives without it. So it's like,
Oh yeah, I know. I dealt with it yesterday. I came home, my children homeschool, which is completely different. And I don't want to be the one that says in my time or when I win, but it is. I mean, that's what I know. So when I have my fourth grader complaining about doing two classes a day after you woke up late, you get to sleep in, you get to wake up at your natural time frame, which is what we allow in our house, is what works for them. And I'm okay with that, but there's boundaries. So where are the boundaries of where it's like you have to be responsible? This is what you needed to do today, and now it's 3:30, and your energy is of complaining and unhappiness. And I'm like, are you completely? My patience are gone. I don't have
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Where's your sense of my reality is what you want to say to them. You have no sense of my reality. And part of it is true, Amaryllis. I mean, first of all, so my first thought is, wait, he gets up whenever he wants. So then how's he going to do a 9 to 5 job? Oh, no, wait, most jobs are not going 9 to 5 anymore. Most jobs are going to the biological clock. So forget that argument. You know what I mean? And it's just like teaching differently,
And how
learning.
do you teach responsibility? How do you teach the fact that, I mean, that was my, so I, as I was being upset and being in that moment as a parent,
Yeah. So I think
I,
we've been here before, right? But I want to go to the
mhm,
5, because you say, how do you teach responsibility, right? So I want to say, how do you teach accountability, right? So
mhm.
responsibility and accountability go hand in hand. You know, you're accountable for something, and you need to hold yourself personally accountable for that. And if you don't, then the consequences come back to you, right? So you've got your accountability, your attitude, how you approach things, right? If it's laissez-faire, if there's no sense of urgency or no sense of value or importance, then what's ever going to get done?
Mhm.
If my attitude doesn't match the task at hand, if I can't approach what's coming with a positive attitude, and then commitment, if I don't understand the value in what is being offered to me, then I'm not committing to it. If I don't see some sort of um, value added, I don't want to say outcome or end goal because it's not what it's about, but if there's not something to work towards, then what am I committing to? So what am I working towards is the question. And, I think you have to ask, your son, what is he working towards? It's like, what do you want to become? What feels important to you? And then that's got to tie back to commitment and attitude and, sense of responsibility. And then what are you doing? Like, what are your little actions that create the big moments? You don't just land that fabulous job. You don't just get into that college. You don't just, it's all the little actions that you took along the way that bring you there. And I think it's so important whether it involves technology or it doesn't. I mean, 99.9% of the things we do now involve technology. But, hey, I like to hold on to the 1% where I get to go out for a walk and I can disconnect. I could put on Do Not Disturb. Actually, when I'm flying, I'm not stressed because I'm not attached to the phone because there is no phone. It's like that, 2 or 3 hour window where, hey, whatever happens, happens. And I don't have to be in the know. I don't have to be in the know,
And
so
you're
it's
connected no matter what, whether your phone is working, connected, disconnected. I mean, there's so many
energy.
different ways.
Well, we're
Yeah,
energetically connected,
yeah.
it's like, you feel some sort of way about someone, you reach out to them. You feel some sort of way about yourself, you reach into you.
Hmm.
We're energetically connected. So I don't know, it's fascinating. It's fascinating, the desire to portray things. We call this authentic conversations. And I feel like people move further and further away from their authentic selves, their authentic lives, as a result of pressures of technology, or the keeping up with you know X amount of posts a day, editing
Yeah,
all of that stuff.
I mean,
Ooh,
we're at the point where we're showing our entire life as we go about on TikTok, and as
no, we're
I'm,
not showing our entire life. We're showing
well,
the
the
life
parts.
we want other people to believe we have.
Yeah,
Very few people are out there, showing their dark nights of the soul, or,
yeah.
expressing. I mean, there are people who are complaining, right? But that's by nature maybe who they are. But it gets them attention. So whatever gets attention is what people are putting out there, whatever they need. So what you need on the inside, you're seeking on the outside. You can fill it on the inside, but it's easier to let someone else fill it for you because it's more work to fill it yourself. It's more work to expose it. And it's so much easier to find other people that will agree with you. And then you don't have to do any work on it. You can just,
So Susan, you have a meditation that I'm working on editing at this moment about affirmations, and so it's a law four, the
mhm.
law of attraction. And there's a part of it that in myself, I'm asking this question to myself, because you say, okay, so if you want abundance, it's easy, and at the same time, it's hard. And the hard part of it is to write it down and say, what do you clearly want the message of what you want to attract? What you're going to do with it when you have it, how you're going to feel about it, and
What are
what are
your
you
intentions?
going to give back to the oneness? How are you going to put, give forward? Um, and I get stuck on it because when I think about all this money, it doesn't feel like it's true or it could be. And then the work of putting a budget together and setting up where they're going to go is work.
Yes, yes, but nothing comes without work.
Right.
So it's hard and it's easy. It's simple in its concept, but it requires believing you're worthy, right? Not just
Yeah.
faking worth, but believing you're worth.
Believing.
So it requires believing that you're worthy, and it also requires the right intention. It cannot be self-serving. It can support who you are, but what is it doing overall to create a better humankind? And I think that that's the piece. We want it because we want it, because we see it and we're short-sighted, and other people have
Of course,
it.
we're humans, we want to pay our bills, we don't want to struggle. We wanted to just, so then it comes quickly, but then as fast as it comes is as fast as it goes because you're not ready, because you haven't done the work. And the work is the hardest part. Putting
Yeah.
together the fact that of savings and putting someone 401k or investing and taking the risk of putting it in the stock market, the fact of following your gut instincts and putting that work in believing the value. I'm going to be honest, it's believing that you can have $10,000 or more in your
Yes.
bank account is already the part of the shadow work that you have to do.
Yes. Yes. And recognizing that when you have it, you don't stop there. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so I asked for it, I got it, and then it's gone, right? It's like you say, it's the work, it's the planning, it's how to turn 10,000 into 100,000. And it's like, so many people um go from a poverty mentality to an abundance mentality, straight back to a poverty mentality, because as soon as it comes, they don't know what to do with it. It's already spoken for. So it's the budgeting, it's the planning, it's the prioritizing, it's optimizing, it's all of those things. It's
Same
the
thing as school. It's making the decision of like how you're going to be accountable, what bills are you going to pay, what gifts are you going to hand out? Do they really need? What's a need and what's a
what do
want?
you really need? You know what I
Right.
mean? Is it the new car, or is it the money in the bank? Is it the investment, or is it an investment in something else? We live in a very materialistic society, goods and service, well, not services. Well, maybe we spoil ourselves with services too, right? I mean, do you need to get your nails done every 2 weeks? Do you need to, is it a necessity or is it a luxury? Maybe you're spending money on energy work, and you might decide that that's a necessity versus a luxury, right? But what are you giving on then to create space for that? It's give and take. It's not all or nothing. So it's paying attention to the $7 3 times a day latte,
Yeah.
$21 a day, 7 days a week.
And being disciplined. So when you have the money in the savings and something's going wrong, just forgetting that that money's in that savings and continuing to push
Working off of
forward,
what you work
you
on.
have
Yes.
so that that savings can grow. The savings cannot grow if you keep dipping into it. So then you keep dipping into it, then you get mad at yourself or you point fingers at others and say, well, because, this and that,
We're
instead
not
of
doing that, or this
realizing,
happened. Yeah.
and then instead of saying, no, that does not exist.
Accountability, responsibility, the right attitude. You will never attract abundance from a poverty mindset if you do not believe that you are worthy or that there is abundance out there. Then it's not coming to you, because what you think and what you imagine becomes how you live your life. And technology is our friend. It is our friend. But don't believe everything you see. Like on the same spectrum, right? So we talked about technology to start. On the same spectrum, when you think about, like, you see these ads, or you see these people who are selling stuff or who are making stuff, it's so tempting to fall into that. It's like the old pyramid schemes. Remember the old pyramid schemes, right? That's what's happening on the internet, right? Somebody's making a lot of money because of good marketing, telling their version of the truth, right? Creating a desire, right, for people to get a quick fix. To get a quick fix. What's fixing? Who outside is going to fix you inside? Nope, you can keep trying. You can keep trying. Do you want to lose a few pounds? There's a very simple recipe for that. Move, portion control, quality of food. Now, you don't like that? You can do somebody else's fancy for thousands of dollars. That's fine. And that fancy might work until you don't have the money anymore to sustain that. And then guess what? There's a very simple recipe. Move, portion control, quality of food. Oh,
And loving yourself.
while feeling safe enough inside yourself to shed whatever it is that you're
Yeah.
buried beneath.
And also, and allowing your body to be the body that it is, because not everybody's the same.
Oh,
So
it's a
if
fabulous
if
body.
this is your body, this is the tool that you have. This is your soul came into this, chose its body type. And if you look around your family type, if this is the way that everybody is, when you start loving yourself for who you are and seeing that, not the person that you're seeing in the magazine, not the person, the movie star, you will become a movie star. You will
The
become that beautiful person.
insecurity melts away. When we are
Yeah.
secure in our own body, the insecurity melts away. So again, we're falling into traps. We're getting lulled. We're spending money on beauty products and appointments and injections and hydrations and all of these things that are manageable with our own self-discipline. Well, this is a fascinating episode. I feel like we've been everywhere, Amaryllis. I don't know. What did we miss? What did we miss?
No, nothing. I think it's all about it all ties down again to loving ourselves, the law of oneness, that when your light is lit, you light others. It goes back to the law of affirmations, correspondence, which we just put back out there, and it's correspondence with how you talk to yourself. How
So
do you
can
believe?
I do
Yeah.
this? I have a whiteboard, right?
Okay.
And on my whiteboard, I love words, right? So I'm a woman of words. I love words. So here's the words that are listed currently on the whiteboard, just to remind me. Awareness, alignment, activation, beliefs, sensations, trust, know, practice. Thoughts and feelings can inspire us or terrify us, or any combination of the two. Pay attention to your inner monologue. One more time. Awareness, alignment, activation, beliefs, sensation, trust, know, practice. Not know, N-O, K-N-O-W, knowing. Thoughts and feelings can inspire us or terrify us, or any combination of the two. Pay attention to your inner monologue. Notice, awareness. Pay attention to what's happening around you and how that's making you feel within you. You want to change how you're feeling inside? Create a new inner monologue. Create a new story. Talk about, law 4, abundance, right? The law of attraction. What are you bringing to you? Are you bringing love? Are you bringing financial wealth? Are you bringing supportive, caring, kind human beings? Are you bringing nourishment? Those are the things. If there's a lack, right, pay attention to what's happening on the outside that's creating that feeling on the inside. change the dialogue about what's happening on the inside to create a new environment for yourself on the outside. Just happens to be random words on my whiteboard.
Thank you, Susan, once again for being with us today, for your sharing your thoughts and your wisdom. And guys, we are always here to just pick and dissect things and talk about the things that is literally happening sometimes in our own lives. Technology, we love it. We know that it's there and it's changing our world. We're embracing it, but we also need to be aware of it and how much of the boundaries of what's happening in our world. Is it what's good, what feels good in your body, what works for you in your household? If no TV is what works good for you in your household, then go with it. That's
Yep.
your guidance.
Not anyone else's to judge, right? It's not anyone else's to judge.
So we're here to support everyone, and just discuss it and pick at it. So if you have any comments or questions, we're here for you. And again, thank you for joining us on our podcast, whether you're listening in or watching us on YouTube or our TikTok channel or Instagram. Thank
Stay
you.
authentic. Stay authentic.